Okay, so what do we actually trade, right? What's in those boxes and those shipping containers? Okay, so it turns out that over half or over 50% is manufactured goods. Okay, so anything from cars to computers to clothing, fuel, mining products, a few things like that. Okay, so over half of it would be considered manufactured goods. Okay, the rest of it is various other things uh, that add up to about 8%. But one of the most interesting trends would be the rise in information technology. Okay, so for example, right, I'm sure you've called, a customer help service at one point and gotten, customer support, and where do you think that person lived, right? So most customer support staff do not live in our case in the United States. They actually live in Bangalore, India. Okay. So it's just kind of insane if you think about it. We have, I might have a problem with my computer in Montgomery, Alabama, and I pick up the phone and I talk to someone in Bangalore, India, and they help me solve my problem. That's kind of crazy if you really think about it. Okay. Or another way to think about this information technology is maybe someday you'll have a robot surgeon, right? Where someone in a different country is controlling the robot using, a control stick or something like that and performing surgery on you from the other side of the world, right? That is something that could very easily happen in our lifetime, which is, at least to me, a little bit crazy. Okay, so one thing that trade economists are really interested in studying is the effect of this information technology on trade patterns. Okay, so when a service that was previously done within a company is shifted to a foreign country, we call that service offshoring. Okay, so this is um, shifting a service abroad. Okay. We also refer to this as outsourcing, right, in the news. So if you hear of like outsourced jobs or anything like that, that's typically we're just shifting the service abroad. Okay, we're doing the service somewhere else. Okay, so this hints at changing divisions of tradable goods, right? So we used to think of things like, the way we used to think about international trade was, what can be put in a box, right, and shipped somewhere, without damaging the quality, right? So, maybe we don't put, well, actually, we do put fruits, right? So today we can put fruits in a box and ship them around the world, and they'll arrive fresh and ready to go. But today, what we see is increasingly people are starting to think of, what can be done electronically or remotely, and what cannot be. Okay. So for example, people stocking shelves, you can't do that electronically. Someone has to be there to put things on the shelf, at least to me, but maybe I'll be wrong someday and this video will be outdated. All right, and it'll show, if you show your grandchildren this video and they'll say, well, why didn't Dr. Hebert think that we could do this electronically? Right, and you can just say, well, he's just this old man who's an idiot. But today, at least, we can't stock shelves electronically, but maybe someday we will be able to. But one thing we can do electronically are things like our taxes, right? So we can, in principle, send all of our tax information to someone else on the other side of the world or in a different country, and they could do our taxes for us and then send us the completed forms that we would then submit to the IRS. And in fact, some of us do that, right? And so, or we have foreign people handle our accounting services and all kinds of stuff. So, but the basic idea here is that most of the goods today are manufactured that are traded internationally are manufactured goods. But what we're seeing is this rise in information technology and a shift from thinking about what can be put in a box and shipped around the world to what can we do electronically or remotely and what can't be. Okay, so this is the direction that we're moving in, is doing things remotely and having one central command center like doing a lot of things, and as opposed to having you know one person making all the goods and shipping it around the world. Now we might have a concentration in people doing repetitive tasks, right? So one example of this in our lifetime, right, is that McDonald's drive-throughs in Colorado. There's something like a dozen McDonald's that are all linked together, and one person, right, works all the drive-through windows for all of those different McDonald's, right? And they're not even in a McDonald's; they're in like an office building somewhere, punching in orders like that, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. So we're moving into this information technology world. Trade economists are aware of this, and they are looking at what the possible effects of this will actually be.